dads and families. Today, in episode 106, we are talking about raising emotionally strong kids. Here's a hint: by modeling it yourself. I'm Christine Bernard, stress management coach, and much more. Lots of experience with children. So, this is why I love to help dads and their families raise emotionally strong children. So, let's get started. So, the first thing, sometimes how can I say this? We like to teach kids with our words, right? And is that the best way for them to learn? Or do they learn it more from just watching you? If you want to raise confident, resilient children, in my experience, it starts with your emotional regulation. So the first part is, why do kids oops, sorry, my page moved out. I have a format so that I don't get lost in my conversation with you. So, why do kids mirror your emotional patterns? Maybe you haven't noticed it, but I taught for 30 years in classrooms, and more than that, because I was a immersion, what was it called? Anyway, French immersion monitor. Yeah. So I've been working with children for a very long time. And what I noticed, the more I moved up in my career, I started noticing that if the child was very turbulent in the class or had lots of things that triggered them, there was usually something going on, whether it was at home or at school or with someone. I also noticed, and I'm curious, have you noticed when you look at your children and other couples who have children, what is it that you notice? We need to pay attention. And by observing and noticing, it helps us motivate us or have this inner desire to really support our children from a place of love and from a place of emotional resilience. Have you seen a correlation between the parents' emotional state and their children, and their children's? Have you seen that? I have. That is something I noticed. The children that had the most challenges focusing in class and getting work done, most of them were really smart. It was not their smarts. It was what had been said to them. It was what they were modeled. If the parents do not have emotional resilience, how can you expect the children to have it? Now, sometimes we're two parents. One parent has emotional resilience and the other may not. And it's okay. It creates a beautiful way, if you word it correctly, creates a beautiful way for the child to notice both ways and to experiment with both ways, yes, and to learn the self-regulation so that when the other parent who does not self-regulate, they can self-regulate and learn from this, because when they move up in the world, grow up, they will meet many people who do not self-regulate, who are easily triggered by whatever it is that triggers them. So I think that if there's at least one parent, be the brave and courageous parent. Maybe you're listening to this and you're like, what is emotional regulation, Christine? Okay, so let me go back a little bit. Emotional regulation is when something triggers you and you have the ability to stay calm, even though it's triggering you, even though there's a part of you that's angry, but there's a part of you that has the wisdom not just the wisdom, has the ability to stay in your prefrontal cortex. So, what does that mean? Here's the prefrontal cortex. And back here, we have a part of the brain that's called the amygdala. And what happens is when we are triggered, our amygdala, which is our survival mode, our fear factor, if you will, is triggered. So whether it's we hear things on the news or somebody said something or somebody did something, it triggers us into survival mode. And because we are human beings, everybody is different. So, how do you just be able to stay calm, resilient, and strong in that moment on a daily basis and not be triggered? And that is such a beautiful skill to teach our children. Not all schools know about self-regulation, so they're not teaching it to the children. There are techniques, breathe, do the cloud. You heard of do the cloud in a classroom. You do the cloud, the kids put their head in their arms, and they call that doing the cloud. I learned this one after I stopped teaching because I had done some replacement in a school. And that's what the kids did. They did a cloud, but it did not. It helped them stay calmer, yes, but it did not calm their survival mode. It did not reset it. It did not release that fear. And that's why, you kind of need a blueprint to handle stress with confidence. Because when you handle it with confidence, your kids will learn to handle it with confidence as well. So, what's the first step? Well, the first step would be noticing, paying attention. If you notice your child is mimicking any of your emotional patterns, then that's an indication that you need to work on it. It might be easier to notice it in your partner or in your other children that trigger your child to see what theirs is. But step number one is self-love. And I invite you to love yourself enough to notice your triggers, to be brave. We need to be brave to be able to see these triggers because it's not easy. And if it was easy, everybody would be doing it, right? So I know it's not easy because I have been doing this for the last 5 years and my life has dramatically changed. So that's why I understand the importance of it. And I have parents who have worked with me whose lives have changed dramatically. So calming your fear. So what is your fear? Once you've noticed triggers, what's the fear behind it? Well, there's something happening. So of course, for me, one of the easiest steps is to snap, tap on the sternum as you relax the shoulders and exhale. Because when you do this, you are sending a message to your amygdala to calm it down so that you are present, grounded, and calm. How many times did someone call me and I'm on the phone and I'm doing this and just listening? Oh, that's interesting. Because of whatever reason, what they're saying triggers me or has an effect on me or wants me to say, put an input when there's no input needed. If you have adult children and they call you, or even teens, and they want to share their story and all you want to do is fix it, right? Has that ever happened to you? Miss Fix It. I'm throwing that out the window better and better as I move forward in my life. I don't want to be fixing people. People are the way they are, and it's their journey. My job is to teach you some techniques. If you want them, use them. If you don't, it's okay. So once you've noticed, paid attention to it, when does it happen? And snap, tap, relax those shoulders, and zap that out onto the spiraling train. And if it's thoughts around the ears, breathing in, notice where your body's holding it, and exhale that into the hot air balloon. And keep going. And if you, as you become more emotionally resilient, so will your children. Now, some of you were raised in an emotionally resilient home and you are emotionally resilient. Kudos to you. Maybe your partner isn't. Maybe your kids haven't learned it yet and you would like them to fast track that. In my opinion, doing the Snap Tap Zap, teaching it to them at a very young age, they can start at 1.5, 2, with you doing it. And you can even start before they're born, while you're pregnant. Moms can start this while they're pregnant because every time mom has a fear, if she self-regulates, I believe it helps the baby in the womb self-regulate as well. And things will happen. You might be in a car accident or have to stop really fast and it startles you. And that start creates a reaction in the mom's wound. How do I know this? Why do I believe this? I believe this because I have a memory from when I was in my mom's womb. There's a lot of things I don't remember, but that memory has popped up as I've learned to self-regulate. And of course, as a master EFT practitioner, when I was getting my training and really working on myself so that I could self-regulate and just release a whole bunch of junk I was carrying that I no longer needed, that memory came up, which is very interesting. I was like, what is that? And as I moved forward in my journey, yeah, something had happened. My mom got really afraid and it just had this effect on me. And it stayed stuck in me because my mom did not know how to release. And I didn't because she couldn't teach me. She didn't know how, right? My dad didn't know how. And that's what happened. And it's okay. But when I became aware of it, there's 50% of the journey, just becoming aware of it. So when you become aware of triggers, of things that bother you emotionally, congratulate yourself because you're 50% of the way out of there. So then by implementing Snap Tap Zap or any other method that you like that works for you, go for it. If you've got something better, use it. It's okay. And because the goal is just to be calm, resilient, and being strong in who you are, in your person that you are, person from the heart, not from the ego, the head. Sometimes we are stubborn. And I took stubbornness from my dad. I know that. And I chose to let it go. Sometimes that part of my personality may come back up, but it's being quickly noticing it very quickly and saying, oh, what's going on? Am I being stubborn in this situation? Or is it something that comes from the heart and I need to just stick with it and keep that boundary? Or is it stubbornness? Because sometimes, or, we have an opinion and we stay stubborn about it. And there are other perspectives and we're not seeing them. So I think I got a little bit off track, but I hope this was helpful and supported you on your journey to being a more emotionally resilient parent. because you are the key to your children's success. I remember a parent calling me that wanted me to work with their child. And I said, well, we need to work with you. And the parent said, no, 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 it needs to be with my child. But the child wasn't interested because the child had a great connection with the parent. However, as the parent learned to self regulate and to be calmer and to trust their child that was almost a teen, their lives changed completely. That child needed some space, some independence, while the parent was learning to self regulate themselves, to trust the child, to learn to guide the child instead of telling the child what to do. Excuse me. So, on that note, I wish you all the best. And I would like you to share one emotion you'd like to manage better as a dad. Share it in the chat. See what it is. Maybe I can do a whole episode on that to support you. So, want to raise emotionally strong kids? Let's work together. You can book a stress-free call with me, only 20 minutes, and see how I can support you directly. Or you can listen to the 106 episodes that are there and enjoy them. Enjoy the process. I wish you the best. Have a great day. And remember to snap,